All right, now that you've got the volleyball and the soccer ball together, what we're going to do is we're going to open up the basketball. So let's go ahead and grab the basketball. All right, so once again, you can use whatever technique you want. If you want to try that using the circle, you can try that one. This is taking just a moment because I had the object selection on when I first opened this photo, so it's doing an analysis of it. So let's try this one, see what that looks like. Actually, I did a pretty nice job with the object select. Kind of messed up some of the edges a little bit, like that part right there. And I grabbed part of his hat, but I can fix that afterwards. So what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to go ahead and click on mask. And now I'm going to zoom in up here at the top. And I'm going to grab my lasso tool and drag along that edge and then come around this side. Now you could use the paintbrush for that. I'm going to go ahead and press D on my keyboard so I can switch these back to the, to the default colors. And then now I'm going to press Alt on a PC, Option on a Mac, and press the backspace button. What that does is that brings up everything. So I realized I've got my colors flip-flopped here. So I'm going to press X. So I want to have black on top, white on the bottom. So with this part still selected, I'm going to press Alt, backspace, and now it gets rid of that edge. Using the space bar to move this down, let me go ahead and switch to my brush. And I'm going to hit X to flip the white on here. Press delete, or sorry, deselect. Sorry, I'm talking too much. There we go. So right now with black on here, notice how it's erasing or seeming like it's erasing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip-flop the colors again by pressing X. That'll bring back the white. And now I can start to paint to bring this edge back. Kind of smooth that out just a little bit. I can come down over here, do the same thing along that edge just to kind of smooth it out. If it's too much, I can hit X again and just use the tip of that brush to smooth that part out. Now I want to do the same thing here. I want to get rid of this part. So black is hiding, white is revealing. As you work through this stuff, you always want to make sure right over here that you're on the background. You're on the mask, not on the actual photo. If you're on the actual photo, you're going to end up painting black directly on the image, which is not what you're looking for. So I'm going to hold down the space bar and click with my mouse around the rest of the ball, and I can see, ooh, that area is really messed up. So grab my lasso. I like to use the lasso. Now, if you're not using a mouse, this part might be a little harder. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and use the selection tool to this elliptical selection to start to line that edge up. Now, that takes a little bit of practice to be able to do that. So what I'm doing now is I'm just nudging the thing around so that I can see where it kind of lines up. So what that's doing is it's protecting this outside. So when I go in here, see, it's not going to paint out to the outside. See how it's stopping right along that edge. It's a really nice way to be able to set up a boundary so that I can make my brush way bigger, save myself some time to fill in right along that edge. Looking pretty good. I'm going to zoom out a little ways. I'm going to press Control D to deselect, or Command D if you're on a Mac. And that looks pretty good. Now, like I mentioned before at the beginning of this tutorial, you can pick and choose which one of the selection methods is going to work best for you. And a lot of this is experimentation and practice. So I'm going to take that one. I'm going to grab the Move tool, and I'm going to hold down the Shift key again on this outside when it's a white arrow. And I'm going to shrink this down so it's about the same size as this soccer ball, maybe just a little bit bigger. The way I can tell if it's bigger or smaller is I'm just kind of moving it around, putting it next to it. Put this like over here. All right, we now have all of those pieces together. You can close the other copies of the ball. And you can kind of see what I've got going on here. In this next video, we will work on hiding the edges, and then we'll start to build the actual text along the top.